UFOs have become a hot topic thanks to recent interviews to eyewitnesses' claims of unexplainable events that sparked a Congress investigation. But what did their body language say?
And if I saw this solo, I don't know that I would have come back and said anything because it sounds so crazy when I say it.
Lieutenant Commander Alex Dietrich saw what she describes as an aircraft with the shape of a tic-tac and impossible speed and movement patterns. It is important to know that what she saw was also picked up and confirmed by radars and cameras. In the 60 Minutes interview, she looks quite uneasy talking about it. She's fiddling with her fingers, which is a common gesture of restlessness, and she also frowns a bit. She said that she didn't want to be on national television, and it shows. But there are also certain gestures like pointing with her chin to emphasize her words, like she means what she's saying and she's serious about it. She was also interviewed by Anderson Cooper, and this statement caught my attention.
He turned with it and then it just disappeared. It zoomed out of the picture so fast that we
Well, you can imagine that of all the odd characteristics of what they saw, such as no wings, no windows, impressive speed, zigzagging all over the place, disappearing to thin air is going to be, hands down, the most unexpected thing of all. And when she remembers that exact moment, she displays a few clues. Right before saying that the aircraft disappeared, she has doubts for a split second. The same doubts of being on national TV talking about this. But right when she says the word disappear, she raises her chin. That means that she's sure about what she's saying at that moment. What's more, she also leans her face a bit towards the camera, and if she were lying, most probably her head would do the opposite, going backwards or away. When you're sure and stand behind what you're saying, you usually get closer, in this case, closer to the camera. We know that she's still emotionally affected by the topic because even if her neck is relaxed, her head tilts a bit to her left, which is an emotional gesture. But the most important signal is that her eyes are going a couple times to her left, accessing her memories, so she's actually remembering what happened. By the way, it's common to confuse the left and right side of the face because some social media apps flip the image and you could mess it up. In this case, how do we know that the image is not flipped? We usually look for text or for the buttons of shirts, given that men have buttons on the right and women on the left. But even if there are no such clues here, one is the way Dietrich combed her hair. A very quick Google search confirms that her hair parting is a little to her right. So that's how we can confirm that this video is not flipped. The last clue is that lip pressing and head turning to one side. It's a bit of regret. Again, she's not enjoying the process of going through this again, since at that moment, and despite the confirmation of her sightings by electronic devices, she was ridiculed by her peers. But she was not alone at that time. She was flying as the wingman of Commander Dave Fravor, who wanted to engage with the unknown aircraft.
There's definitely something that, I don't know who's building it, who's got the technology, who's got the brains, but there's something out there that better than our airplane.
Fravor is way more relaxed when talking about the topic. There's no finger fiddling, he shows a relaxed posture, his voice tone is stable, and his hand gestures match the rhythm of his speech. A common mistake in body language analysis is thinking that because they look at each other while recalling the event, is because they are lying. Typically, when two people practice a statement to say the same thing, they get so involved in the details of the story that they just blur them out. That looking at each other is natural. As each one recalls the event, they want to make sure that the others saw the same thing. As in, hey, you remember it like this, right? So it's another clue that they are telling the truth. Maybe they speak with confidence thanks to the fact that each one was flying with a co-pilot, so it was a grand total of 4 sets of eyes that saw the tic-tac blazing through the ocean surface.
At ground level, that can go, to 60,000 or 80,000 feet.
And then drop.
And then drop down to the deck or drop to 20,000 feet, and and it's like a straight vertical line.
In seconds.
Yeah, in seconds.
Well, that sounds a lot like Bitcoin. In 2017, Christopher Mellon acquired 3 declassified Navy videos and leaked them to the New York Times. And if we have all those words in the same sentence, leaked declassified UFO documents, you bet that melon has the image that goes with it. All these risks have paid off. This past August, the Pentagon reactivated the program on Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, or UAP, not to be confused with WAP. Service members now are encouraged to report strange encounters, and the Senate wants answers.
UFOs are real. Bill, I think we're beyond that already. The government has already stated for the record that they're real. I'm not telling you that. The United States government is telling you that.
There's also the statement of Luis Elizondo, former Pentagon researcher, about the reality of the US hiding alien vessels and materials. Of the 4 protagonists of this episode, Elizondo is the one that talks more serene and confident about the topic. He has a consistent voice tone, he talks at a regular frequency, his hand gestures are in sync with his words, and there is no erratic eye behavior. On the other hand, he raises his eyebrows. That gesture is a clue of looking for empathy, emphasizing a topic, or trying to raise awareness. But even if he was calm and collected for the 60 Minutes interview, there was this moment with CNN that caught my attention.
So, what did you find?
Well, we found a lot. I think
It's strange that to the question, "What did you find?" he shows surprise. I mean, how many times do you think he has been asked that question on these interviews? So that's an interesting reaction. He also turns his eyes to his left. He's remembering what did he find. We guess that there should be any amount of videos and documents that are still classified and that he cannot reveal. And not being able to reveal them yet is painful to him. Pain is not only physical, and to this question and his inability to answer directly, he shows a facial microexpression of pain. There's also the long blink. Those are much longer than regular blinks, and they can take up to 1 second or even more. The person closes their eyes for an instant in order to withdraw from the situation. It's interesting to contrast these two attitudes, Dietrich pushing her chin, pushing her head forward, emphasizing her experience, while Elizondo throws his head back and feels the pain of not being able to talk everything he says. This is a good example of the fact that not because two attitudes are totally different from one another, it means that one of them is lying and the other is telling the truth. In this case, they both are doing the best they can to convey their message.
The highest probability is it's a threat observation program.
Could it be Russian or Chinese technology?
I don't see why not.
Lieutenant Ryan Graves is a bit more concerned with the fact that this technology could be, in fact, Russian or Chinese. But as other colleagues from the Navy have addressed already, things like the flying Tic Tac or the spinning aircraft don't make much sense in general terms of physics or aircraft development. What our common sense says is that if this technology was developed on Earth, it would have taken quite some time, or at least a convergence of many scientists and engineers. It's highly unlikely that in any of those situations, no information of any stage of the development of that technology will be made public. I mean, the separate pieces that would have to be put together to create that technology. It's not common that you have such a leap in technology and at the same time you can keep it under wraps. And when you're not sure about what you're looking at, the thought of it being a real threat makes you talk like this.
we're going through our due diligence. Is it some sort of new type of cruise missile technology that China has developed? Is it some sort of high altitude balloon that's conducting reconnaissance?
Elizondo gets upset about any doubts raised by skeptics, making it clear that he knows his job and knows how to do it right. He raises his voice, raises his eyebrows again, and his head is going back and forth in that conflict of not being able to say everything that he wants to say. So for what we've seen so far in these clips, all of them are telling the truth. Stay tuned because I'll be reviewing those Congress hearings on the UFO phenomenon. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss any of my body language episodes and tips. See you next time!